There is a river. You may have not known it was there, but it has always been there, long before the roads were built, long before the first lantern was hung at the crossing, before any of the names we use for things had yet been spoken. The river was already moving, slow and dark and wide, moving in the way that only very old things move, without urgency, without effort, simply continuing. And there is a ferryman. His name, if he has one, is not important tonight. What matters is his hands, broad and unhurried, calloused from 10,000 crossings, hands that know the weight of a rope, that know the grain of a wooden oar worn smooth, hands that do not grip too tightly because they have learned over many years that the river does not need to be forced, only followed. You find him in the hour before dark. He is sitting at the end of the dock, which extends perhaps 15 feet over the water. The planks are old, grey, soft underfoot. They have absorbed so many years of river mist that they feel almost like earth now. He is mending a length of rope in his lap, working slowly, looping one end through the other, not looking at his hands. He is watching the far bank. The far bank is a long way away. In the failing light, it is only a dark smudge, a horizon that is neither land nor sky, a place where everything on this side stops being visible. You cannot make out what is there. Trees, perhaps, or the beginning of something else. In the evening light, the river between here and there is the color of pewter, and it moves with a kind of slow breathing, the surface lifting and settling, as though the water itself is resting after a long day. You stand at the edge of the dock for a moment. The ferryman does not look up, but he shifts slightly, a small adjustment that makes room, an invitation that asks nothing. You sit beside him. The rope in his hands makes a soft sound, the whisper of hemp against palm. The river makes its own sound below you, a low, ongoing murmur that is almost a word but never quite becomes one. A sound that has been saying something for a very long time without needing to be understood. You breathe in. The air here smells of river stone and evening and something green. Reeds, perhaps, or the dark mud of the bank, or the memory of rain that fell 3 days ago and has been working its way slowly out downstream ever since. You breathe out. There's nowhere you need to be right now. There's nothing waiting for you. Whatever the day has asked of you, it has asked enough. It is finished asking. The only thing left, the only thing this evening requires of you, is to sit here at the edge of the water and let the light go slowly out, which it does, slowly and without drama. The sky above the far bank moves from the color of old copper to something softer, pale rose, gold, then a kind of muted violet that deepens as you watch it. The first star appears. You are not sure exactly when it does. One moment it's not there, and then it is, small and steady, as though it has always been there and you had only just noticed. Then another, then several more. The sky becomes a record of something very old, and you are lying back against the dock planks now, which are warm from the day's sun, and the wood beneath you holds you without asking anything. The ferryman stands without announcement. He does not speak, but something in his movement is an invitation, a slow unfolding that has the quality of a door opening onto a dark garden. He steps down from the dock onto the boat, which receives him without complaint. The boat is low and wide, made of dark wood that has been painted and repainted so many times that the layers are kind of history. It sits in the water with absolute steadiness. There is a single lantern mounted at the bow, its flames small and sure. You follow him. The boat receives you the same way, steadily, without fuss. There is a wooden bench across the middle. You sit, and the ferryman uncoils the rope from the dock post and sets the oars. The first stroke. There's something ceremonial about it. The oar enters the water, and with barely a sound, a soft parting, a small displacement, and the boat begins to move. The dock retreats behind you. The bank retreats. The familiar shoreline with its reeds and its sleeping birds and its one old willow that has been bending toward the water for 40 years, all of it recedes, grows smaller, becomes something you are looking at from further and further away. The ferryman rows with the same unhurried rhythm he mends rope. There's no wasted movement. Each stroke is a complete thought. Forward, down, through, lift. Forward, down, through, lift. The boat finds its own quiet between the strokes, gliding a little further each time, carried partly by momentum and partly by something else, some willingness in the water to receive you. The lantern at the bow makes a small circle of gold on the surface ahead of you. In that circle, you can see the water's texture, the tiny channels and eddies, the slow upwelling of darker water from up below, the way of current traces itself in lines across the surface like script in a language you have always almost understood. You watch it for a long time. There's something restful about it. The water does not mean anything in particular. It is simply what it is, moving, receiving, returning. Your shoulders soften. You had not known they were raised until this moment, but they were, carrying something, something you had been carrying so long it had stopped having a name. Something about tomorrow, perhaps, or yesterday, Something about being enough, or having done enough, or the gap between what you intended and what actually happened. You do not need to examine it closely. You only need to notice that it is lighter now, that the river is taking some of it, that the sound of the oars in the water and the smell of the night air and the way the lantern flame does not waver, all of it is permission to let a little more go. The far bank, you notice, is no closer, but that is fine. That is more than fine. The crossing is not a problem to be solved. It is a movement to be inhabited, and you are inhabiting it now, and the boat is steady, and the ferryman's breath is slow and even, and somewhere behind you, so far behind you now, the shore you came from has disappeared into the dark. The river is wider here than you expected, much wider. You had thought from the bank that you could see the far side clearly, but from the middle of the water, you understand that what you saw was not the far bank at all, only a fold in the river, a place where the current bends and the light creates an impression of land. The true far shore is still ahead of you, and it's still only a suggestion. You find that this does not trouble you. The ferryman has shipped one more oar and is drifting now, letting the current do some of the work, turning slightly in the water with a slow rotation that gives you different views of the river and the sky. You can see the stars fully here. There's no bank to interrupt the horizon, no trees, no roofline, only the river and the sky, and a single lantern, and the sound of water against the hull in a rhythm that is almost like breath. You lie back against the bench. The wood is smooth and a little cool. The boat moves beneath you with a gentle rocking, forward and back, so slight that it is less a motion than a suggestion of motion. The sky above you is enormous. The stars are many. You do not try to count them or name them. You let them be the number that they are, which is a number too large to hold in the mind, which is exactly the point. When the mind encounters something too large to hold, it releases. It stops trying. It becomes, for a moment, the size of what it is looking at. You are looking at everything. The ferryman speaks, only once and quietly. The river knows where you're going, he says. It always does. You don't have to. He does not explain this. He does not need to. You receive it the way you receive the rocking of the boat, not by understanding it, but by being carried in it. The body knows things the mind is still working toward. Your legs are heavy. That is the first thing you notice. A warmth spreading from the hips down through the thighs, through the backs of the knees, down into the calves, pulling in the feet. Your feet are heavy. Your feet feel as though they are made of river stone and moss, of something that has been sitting at the bottom of a slow stream for 100 years and has no interest in moving. Your arms are next, the heaviness moving through you gently, not like sleep pressing down, but like warmth filling in, like the heat of a fire working its way through cool wool. Your hands rest in your lap. Your fingers do not curl, they are simply open. The boat rocks forward and back. The lantern flame does not waver. The ferryman rows again now, and the rhythm of it enters your body the way the heartbeat of another person enters you when you are held. Not yours, and yet completely familiar. Forward, down, through, lift. The water parts. The boat moves. The far shore remains ahead of you, neither closer nor further, simply there, the direction of travel, the direction of rest. The ferryman has been crossing this river for a very long time. He thinks about this sometimes in the way that very settled people think about things without urgency, without weight. He does not remember the first crossing, but he knows it happened in the late afternoon of a spring day when the water was high and the willows on the far banks were green, trailing in the current, and a heron stood at the margin for so long it became part of the landscape. He has carried many passengers. He does not remember all of them, but he carries something of each one, the way a river carries trace minerals from every stone it has passed over, in such small amounts that no single stone could claim any particular weight, but together they give the water its particular quality, its particular taste. He is made, in part, of everyone who has sat in the middle of the boat and looked up at the sky with that expression, the one that comes when the shore has finally let go of them. He likes that expression. He rose. The night has fully settled now. There is no trace of the earlier light. The sky is the color of deep water, that blue black that is not quite darkness, that holds within it the memory of color even after color has gone. The stars are brilliant and still. The river reflects them so that you are traveling between two skies, the real one above and its image below, and and for a moment you cannot tell which is which. Both are carrying you. You are no longer thinking about anything in particular. This is a thing that happens on the river, that thoughts that felt so heavy on the shore, the ones you turn over and over, trying to find the right angle to see them from, trying to solve them or dissolve them or simply outlast them, they become out here smaller than the sound of water. They become the same as the small eddies that appear in the wake of the oars and then disappear. They happen, they pass, they leave no mark on the surface, which closes behind them immediately, immediately, already gone. You watch a thought arise, you watch it pass, you watch the water where it was. There's only the boat, there is only the ferryman's quiet breath and the pull of the oars and the way the lantern makes the water gold for 10 feet in every direction and then gives up. Lets the dark have the rest. A fish breaks the surface somewhere behind you. You hear it, one soft, percussive sound, and then silence, and then the water returns to itself. The ferryman smiles faintly to no one in particular. He has always liked that sound. There comes a point in every crossing. The ferryman knows this better than he knows anything, where the passenger stops trying to arrive. It happens differently for different people. For some, it is gradual, like the slow falling of light at the end of a long day. For others, it happens all at once, a releasing that is almost audible, a small sound or a long exhalation, and then the body goes still in a different way, a deeper way, the way a stone goes still at the bottom of a river. He thinks you are almost there. He rows more slowly. There's no reason to rush, and every reason not to. The night is long. The river is patient. The far shore will be there when you arrive. And if you do not arrive until morning, if morning comes and you find you still on the water, still rocking, still held, that will be enough. That will be exactly right. You are on your back again, looking up. The stars have moved only slightly, only the amount that stars move in an hour, which is movement so small and so large at the same time that it means nothing and everything. They have turned in their ancient pattern. They have continued. And you on this boat, on this river, in the middle of this wide, dark water, have continued too, breathing in, breathing out, alive and resting, which is a thing the world does not always give you permission to do, but the river does. The river has always given you that. Your eyes are heavy, not the heaviness of trying, not the grim, effortful heaviness of someone pressing themselves towards sleep, counting, calculating, negotiating, just the natural weight of eyes that have seen enough for today, eyes that have earned their rest, that are ready to stop translating the world into image and simply stop, simply rest, simply be closed and warm and still. You let them close. You feel the boat beneath you. You feel the river beneath the boat. You feel the way you are held by wood, by water, by the deep cold earth at the river's bed far below, by the slow turning of the world itself, which does not need your help to turn and does not ask for it and keeps turning anyway, warm and enormous and indifferent to your weight in the best possible way. The ferryman rows. The oar enters still water. The boat moves forward. Water, old water, slow water, water that began somewhere high and cold and came all this way. The dark beneath the boat is not threatening, it is only deep. It is the depth that holds the light up. Without the dark below, there would be no lantern on the surface, only a flame in open air, burning without reference. But against the dark, the light becomes a place, a small, warm, real place. You are in that place. The ferryman is somewhere above you in the way that any waking presence is above sleep, present but not pressing, watching but not watching for anything in particular. He is simply there as he has always been there, as he will be there when you surface, if you surface. There is no urgency about this. He does not need you to be awake. He is content to row. He rows. You hear it as though from a great distance. The creak of wood, the slide of water, the small sounds that boats make when they are moving through the dark, a language of pressure and resistance and give, a conversation between the boat and the river that has been going on longer than you have been alive. A heron calls somewhere, one note, then silence. The kind of silence that is not empty but full, full of the sounds that silence is made of: water, wind, the almost nothing of the night. Your breath is very slow now, in and out, the pause between, which is where you are. In the pause, in the gap between one breath and the next, in the place that the river understands, the small eternity between the oar entering the water and the boat beginning to move, the moment that is neither effort nor rest, neither this shore nor the other, but simply crossing, simply becoming. The ferryman doesn't look back. He doesn't need to. He can feel it. The shift in the weight of the boat, the way the hull settles a fraction of an inch deeper when a passenger crosses into sleep. He has felt it thousands of times. It is his favorite thing, that small, barely perceptible change in the weight of the world. He rows on. The far shore, it is always ahead. The lantern makes its small golden circle on the surface, and the darkness closes in behind it, and the oars move with absolute patience, and the river receives each stroke and gives it back as motion, and the boat goes forward into the soft dark, which is not a wall, but a door, which is not a door, but a field, which is not a field, but the feeling of returning to something which you did not know you had left. A reed bed to the left, or perhaps not. Perhaps only the memory of a reed bed, the impression of green, the way sleep sometimes shows you things that you are not quite there yet, or no longer there, or there in a different way, present and permeable and without hard edges. The ferryman ships the oars, the boat drifts. There's no urgency in this. There's nothing in this but the drift, which is its own kind of crossing, not the work of the oars, but the work of the water itself, which has been moving toward something far longer than you had been keeping track, which will continue moving after you stop, which does not need your attention to do what rivers do. The stars are very bright, or perhaps your eyes are closed. Perhaps they have been closed for a long time. The ferryman sits in the bow, and the lantern makes its small circle, and the night is very large and very quiet. And somewhere ahead, always ahead, the far shore waits, the patient as the river itself, asking nothing of you but the crossing which you are already doing, which you have already done, which continues. The boat rocks, the water breathes. You are here. You are on the water. You are crossing. You are